A woman disappears into the darkness. Her last known location is a lonely stretch of road on Long Island. Hours later, her phone rings, but she is not the one speaking. A man's voice is on the other end, calm, cold, almost amused. For more than a decade, that voice haunted investigators. Who was he? Where was he hiding? And how could someone capable of such cruelty disappear into ordinary life without anyone noticing? The answer, when it finally came, shocked America. The man police accused of being the Gilgo Beach killer was not a drifter or a shadow hiding in abandoned buildings. He was an architect. He designed homes and office spaces. He wore button-up shirts. He drove to work. He chatted with neighbors. He had a wife, children, a quiet house in the suburbs. But according to investigators, behind that ordinary life was another world, a darker one, a hidden life built on lies, obsession, and murder. This is the story of Rex Heuermann, a man who seemed invisible because he looked exactly like everyone else. Long Island, New York. Wealthy beach towns, expensive homes, quiet streets lined with trees. It is the kind of place people imagine is safe. But only a few miles away, along a remote stretch of Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach, there is another side of Long Island. Empty marshland, wind, sand, silence. At night, the road feels endless. There are no houses, no lights, only darkness stretching for miles beside the ocean. In May 2010, a young woman named Shannon Gilbert vanished after running through a gated community in terror. She was screaming, begging for help. Then she disappeared into the night. Police began searching the area near Gilgo Beach. They were not looking for a serial killer. They were looking for one missing woman. Then, everything changed. On December 11th, 2010, a police officer and his dog made a horrifying discovery in the brush beside Ocean Parkway. Human remains, then another set of remains, then another, then another. Within days, investigators realized they were not dealing with one victim. They were dealing with 4. The victims were young women. Most had worked as escorts. Most had advertised online. They had disappeared years earlier, and somehow no one had connected the dots. The media gave them a name, the Gilgo 4. But behind the headlines were real people, daughters, sisters, friends. One victim loved to sing. Another dreamed of building a better life. One had a little sister who never stopped searching. Their families waited by the phone for years, hoping for a miracle that would never come. As police expanded the search, they found even more remains scattered along the shoreline. The mystery grew darker. How many victims were there, and how long had the killer been hunting? The nation became obsessed. News helicopters circled overhead. Reporters lined the road. Everyone wanted to know the same thing. Who could do something like this? For years, there was no answer. Investigators chased hundreds of leads. They examined phone records, old witness statements, and online ads. They looked at truck drivers, police officers, local men, strangers passing through town. Every lead seemed promising at first, then it disappeared into nothing. Meanwhile, somewhere on Long Island, the man investigators were hunting continued living his normal life. Rex Heuermann lived in Massapequa Park. He was over 6 feet tall, broad-shouldered with glasses and a heavy frame. People who knew him described him as awkward, intense, even intimidating, but not dangerous. During the day, he worked in Manhattan as an architect. He talked about buildings and permits. He met clients. He walked through crowded streets where thousands of people passed him without a second glance. At night, a According to prosecutors, he lived a secret life online, searching for violent material, looking at images of the victims and their families, returning again and again to the crimes that only the killer should have remembered. And that is what makes this story so terrifying. Evil did not wear a mask. It wore a business jacket. It sat in traffic. It bought groceries. Years passed. The case grew colder. Families feared the killer would never be found. Then, in 2022, a new task force
took over the investigation. Fresh eyes, fresh energy. They reopened old evidence that had been ignored for years. One clue stood out immediately. Years earlier, investigators had traced burner phone calls made by the killer. The calls had come from crowded areas of Manhattan. But now, with better technology, detectives looked closer. Again and again, one phone seemed to appear in the same places as the burner phones. That phone belonged to Rex Heuermann. Detectives began watching him, quietly, patiently. They followed him through the city. They studied his habits. They searched through decades of records. Then they found something else. A witness from years earlier had described seeing a large man driving a dark green pickup truck near one of the victims. Rex Heuermann once owned that exact kind of truck. The walls were beginning to close in, but detectives needed proof, something undeniable. One afternoon, investigators watched as Heuermann threw away a pizza box in Manhattan. After he walked away, detectives moved in. Inside the trash was a discarded crust. On it, a tiny trace of DNA. Scientists compared the DNA to hair found on one of the victims. The results came back. The hair was linked to the same family line as Rex Heuermann. After 13 years, investigators believed they finally had their man. On July 13, 2023, Rex Heuermann was arrested outside his office in Manhattan. Office workers stared as detectives surrounded him. The ordinary architect was suddenly at the center of one of America's most infamous murder cases. When police searched his home, they say they uncovered a hidden world. Thousands of weapons, disturbing internet searches, a life investigators believed had been carefully concealed for decades. His family was stunned. Neighbors could not believe it. They had seen him mowing the lawn, walking down the street, living what looked like an ordinary life. But perhaps that is the most frightening part of all. The Gilgo Beach killer was not hiding in the shadows. He was hiding in plain sight. For years, the victims were forgotten by the world, dismissed because of their jobs, ignored because they lived on the edges of society. Yet in the end, it was their story that refused to disappear. Their families kept searching, detectives kept asking questions, and one by one, the lies began to crack. Today, the case is still unfolding. Rex Heuermann has denied the charges against him, and investigators continue to examine whether there may be more victims. The full truth may still be buried somewhere along that lonely road beside the ocean, because on Gilgo Beach, the wind still blows across the sand. The highway is still empty at night, and somewhere in that darkness lives a question that still terrifies people today. How well do we really know the people around us?